Does it ever seem like when you're trying to create something that interruptions just knock you right out of your creative flow? Or does one distraction seem to ruin your momentum? Do you feel like you lose the magic? If that's the case, you're not doing anything wrong. You just haven't learned how to step back into the flow after the moment breaks. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So welcome back. We're going to dive into one of the most essential creative skills, and that is the ability to re-enter the flow quickly after you're interrupted. We have to remember that flow is a state, and like any state, you can return to it on purpose when you know the pathway back. So let's break the pathway down. First and foremost, flow is a rhythm. It's not a fragile moment. Most creators think that flow is fragile. They think if I lose my momentum, it's just gone. Or once I get interrupted, I can't get it back. Or the creative magic just disappears. But flow, creative flow, really isn't that fragile. Flow is a rhythm that you can re-enter. Now, there was a time when I believed the opposite. If I got interrupted, I thought it was over. The moment was gone, the clarity was gone, the energy was gone. So instead of trying to return to it, I just stopped. And what I didn't realize was that I wasn't losing flow as much as I was abandoning it. Flow only feels fragile because interruptions, they break your focus and they activate your thinking mind. But when you know how to return to presence, flow becomes accessible again. Interruptions pull you out of presence, but flow requires an immersion, focus, openness, relaxed attention. It's an intuitive movement. And interruptions, though, they pull you into your thoughts and tension and self-awareness and frustration. Have you ever felt that before? Distraction, this emotional contraction. And when that happens, you're no longer in the moment, you're in your mind. Your creative flow stops because presence stops. I remember being in the middle of recording something that felt effortless. The ideas were just connecting, everything was just flowing. And then something small would interrupt me, a noise, a thought, a distraction. And then almost instantly, my attention shifted. Not just externally, but internally. I started thinking about what I was saying, questioning it, trying to get it back. And in that moment, I moved out of the experience and into analysis. You ever heard of a term called analysis paralysis, where you can analyze something so much that it just prevents you from doing anything? And that's when flow just disappeared for me. And this is what I learned. I learned that you don't need to find the magic again. You need to return to presence. And this is the breakthrough. You don't recreate flow. You return to flow. Flow is still there. It's always there. It's the creative current never left. You simply need to reconnect, realign, return to that channel, step back into that state. You see, flow doesn't disappear, you do. So the goal is to return. And here's something fascinating. The mind wants to start over. The body wants to continue. When you get interrupted, your mind says, I lost it. The moment is gone. I have to begin again because I'll never get it back. But your body and your intuition remember the emotional momentum that you had. You don't need to restart. You need to re-enter. And this mindset shift alone preserves flow. There is something I like to call the 5-minute re-entry window. There's a small window, usually 2 to 5 minutes, where you can re-enter creative flow quickly before your mind fully takes over. And inside this window, your emotional state is still open, your intuition is still active, the creative channel is still warm, the inspiration is still accessible, the idea is energetically still alive. If you know what to do when you're in this window, you can recover deeply without losing momentum. For me, this understanding came when I stopped trying to get the moment back and started returning to the state instead. Instead of restarting everything, I'd pause, breathe, soften, and reconnect to how it felt right before the interruption. And almost every time, the flow was still there. It was just waiting for me. It was not gone. It was just unattended. And that's when I realized that flow isn't something you lose. It's something you step out of and can step right back into. But how do we do that? I like to call this the return path method. Here's the exact step-by-step method to re-enter flow in under 60 seconds. Step 1, don't rush. Just pause, don't force, don't panic. Rushing increases friction. Step 2, take one slow breath. Inhale slow, exhale longer. And this resets presence. Step 3, relax the body. Shoulders drop, jaw softens, chest opens up. Flow needs softness, not tension. Step 4, reconnect to the emotional state that you were in. Ask, how did I feel right before the interruption? Flow is emotional, so recreate the feeling and not the thought. Step 5, find the last thread of your momentum. Ask, what was the very next thing I was about to say or do? Don't restart, resume. And step 6, follow the impulse immediately. Whatever impulse shows up next, follow it without hesitation. And this jumpstarts the flow channel. So remember this, interruptions don't break flow. Losing presence breaks flow. And presence can be rebuilt in a matter of seconds when you know the path back. And re-entering flow is a skill. And once you master it, interruption stops being the obstacle. Next up in this micro series, we'll talk about how to make flow a predictable part of your creative routine.